Time for me and my daily dose of service, helping you guys build a career you love. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. Okay. Just making sure my team is with me. You guys should be seeing me here. I love this stuff. I hope you guys are having fun this week. I have been having an absolute ball. It's Wednesday, 11 a.m. Central in the U.S. We're live. I'm Andy, helping you build a career you love. All right. We have got a bunch of people already lining up. Just want to say hello. Everybody dive in that chat. Let me know who you are, where you're from, what you need. You got any questions? Put some question marks in front of your questions. I do try to go through the chat carefully and answer your questions. It's a heck of a lot easier when I see the question marks. Try to stick to one question per person and try to stay within the confines of one little 200 or 200 and whatever character count we get. But great to have everybody. Really am enjoying this stuff. Now, I am. I have multiple chats going, and I, for whatever reason, have not cannot grab Connie Cotter's and put hers up on the big board here. Dang, because she's got a good question. We're gonna start with her right away, and I'm just trying to see if the thing refreshes. It's not gonna. Okay, Connie Cotter, our beloved, lovely, and talented, and really smart boot camper and leader, has a question, and it was related to something that I mentioned yesterday. Somebody was asking about, here's the scene. Somebody was asking about negotiating as an internal candidate. Should you negotiate your salary, promotion, increase, bonus, all that good stuff? My answer is a resounding yes. And I gave you a tactic that said, if you make your argument, you show them what it is that you've done, what you've accomplished, how you feel, what you're contributing is helping, the value it's creating, and all that good stuff, and they don't want to meet you where you want to go, one of the best negotiating tactics for an internal candidate is to ask them to, if they could evaluate what it would be worth to do this job if you were not there. So what Connie is asking is, she said from yesterday, negotiating for an internal promotion or position, if I ask my employer, how would you handle these responsibilities if I wasn't doing them? That's not really fair. I would not be leaving my job. It's not like they have someone else to replace me or the position would be vacant. Can you explain more how this question would not sound threatening? So Connie, that's a great piece of feedback. Let me clarify that. So here's how I would handle this. So going back to what I was saying, you're an internal candidate, they're giving you a raise or a promotion or both, or maybe making some additions to your compensation package, whatever it might be. If you want to negotiate that and you go through the process, right, of showing them that you want to be paid commensurate with the value you're contributing, if you feel like, or they feel like, that your argument has fallen short, they don't want to budge, one of the best tactics that you can do is to say, let's take a look at this from a different vantage point. And the reason, and I'm telling you guys, the reason you want to do this is because none of us, me, you, everybody that's ever been born and has passed on, has never had an experience that they were not at the absolute center of. Everything gets processed from their vantage point, from their history, how they've let their history affect them, how they value you, the relationship, what you do, how much it means to them, how little it means to them, and all that good stuff. It's very difficult for people to look at it from somebody else's vantage point, because even if they try to do that, they still have to process it with their own history in mind. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get them to look at your promotion, your raise, and the value of what you do from your vantage point, with what you know you do. Okay, so if you get to that point, you say to the employer, say to your boss, say to your management team, whoever it is, let's look at this from a different viewpoint. If you had to account for these responsibilities, I wasn't the one doing them, how would you value them? How would you accommodate for them? How much would you pay to have these done? And they have to be clear on everything that you actually do, how you do it, what the effort takes, and so on. So if you had to find someone to do this position and these responsibilities, how much would you pay? What would you be willing to pay? And you want to try to stay away from the word I. I is a negotiating interrupter. Okay, they stop listening when they hear you say I want, I need, I see it this way. Sounds like you're not entirely sure of everything that gets done or how it gets done. Let me explain that. So it's something that you're just trying to get them to look at it from a different vantage point. You could say to them, look, I'm not leaving, but I want to try to get you to look at it from a different viewpoint so that you understand everything that gets done, how it gets done, and the effort that it takes, and ultimately what the impact and the value is. And Connie, the other thing too is that's why the Career Achievements Journal is so important. And I'm not going to go into the Career Achievements Journal. I've talked about this a lot. For those of you that are here with me live or that are watching this on a replay, you can check out the Career Achievements Journal. I'm sure there'll be a link nearby or something up in the card or whatever. But you have to have that information at your fingertips and just say to them, I'm not saying I'm going anywhere. I'm trying to get you to understand how everything gets done and the value that I'm creating. So that's what I'm talking about. It is not about you threatening to leave. You certainly don't want to do that. You're just asking them, I want you to look at this from a different viewpoint. Can we look at this from a different viewpoint? You can flower it up any way you want. Take the word I out of there and go from there. But that's a great question. It's a great follow-up. And I'm telling you, it is a phenomenal tactic because it will get them to focus in on what you do, not you. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to take their mind off you and get them looking at what's actually being done. It makes them a little more objective. If you've done your homework, listen, folks, you do not deserve the promotion, the raise, the whatever. If you are not capturing what you're doing, being convincing, showing them the value, you got to have this stuff on the tip of your tongue. On the tip of your tongue. And by the way, I know Kara's going to yell at me for this, but I'm going to tell you this anyway. And it's not an announcement we were going to make until the weekend or next week. But coming up in a few weeks, I have a special live event called Catapult Your Career. And it is a big part of you being able to get these kind of promotions is the 12 steps I'm going to take you through. It'll be out in a couple of weeks. Depending on when you're watching this, it might have already happened. I don't know. But that's something you guys might want to try to attend. Be on the lookout on your emails for that. But anyway, that's a great question. I hope that helps, Connie, and that's really a good tactic for all you internal candidates. All right, AB, I got you here. How to deal with bias in interviews. All right, let's get this up. This one I do have. All right, hang on. This coffee's good, man. Oh, all right, let's take a look. AB's asking, how to deal with bias in interviews. I look 10 years younger than I am, and interviewers have made comments to me suggesting I don't fit the type they had in mind. I'm assuming that the level of experience you mean. Hard to recover from. So I have found that interviews are full of biases. They have to be. It's actually a good thing. Now, let's take the word bias for a second. Most of us, we take the word bias and we construe it as negative. Well, our biases are formed based on our history, based on our experience. And in an interview, an interviewer has to rely on his or her biases because they have to make a decision quickly. Now, I don't want them to be making negative decisions about you quickly. you're going to have to work to overcome that. But you have to remember, if I've only got 30 minutes or 45 or an hour or even 6 hours with you, I'm only going to know so much. So I have to fill in the gaps and I have to extrapolate how I think you're going to perform in our environment. Now, it's your responsibility to help me fill those biases and those gaps and all that other stuff in positively. So you need to do the right things to get the bias working in your favor, giving you the benefit of the doubt, not the detriment of the doubt. Okay, now you come in and you look younger. I don't know what younger is. I don't know if you're 32 and you look 22 or you're 52 and you look, 42. And at some point in your life, AB, you're going to be thanking your lucky stars that you look the way you look. In the meantime, a couple things that you can do. Your dress, meaning not wear a dress, but your outfit can say a lot about you, your polish, your professionalism. I have interviewed people when I was in my young 30s, and I would interview people, and some of the young ladies would come in very short skirts, and other people would come in dresses, and other people would come in pantsuits. I'm talking about the women, for example, and it immediately changes the way that we perceive. And actually, in women, same kind of thing. We all have reactions. That's one thing that I would do. I would dress sharply, very professionally. I would make sure I'm not doing anything, because that's totally within your control, right? How you look may or may not be, depending on, obviously you can clean yourself up. The other thing is it's what you say. So as an example, I have looked, well, I hope you think so, but I've looked relatively young my life. Now, I want you to rewind the clock 30 years, and I'm 22 years old, and I'm working for a consultancy, and I have to go out, and people are paying a lot of money to my company to have me come and consult for them when I look like I'm 12, and I need to convince these people. So it's the same kind of thing that you're going through. I found that when I was ready, prepared, organized, right, looked the role, wore my suit and tie and all that good stuff, and once the words started coming out of my mouth, they sobered up pretty quickly. They got that I knew what I was talking about. And I will tell you that in a lot of cases, your first interaction with them is not going to be in person, right? It's going to be through the email. It's going to be on the phone. Could even be on a video conference, perhaps. As you start to build a running start there, I think in most cases, you won't struggle with this issue. Now, I recognize that some people may have said this to you, but I will tell you this. If they spend a half an hour or an hour with you, I think that's plenty of time for you to convince them that you got the goods. I really do. I honestly do. And I would do whatever I could to make sure that my LinkedIn profile picture looked as professional as possible. I don't know if I've seen your LinkedIn profile or if you're the AB that I'm guessing you are, but I would just make sure that all that stuff is in order, and anything that they might do in advance of meeting you is working in your favor. So I hope that helps. I mean, there's only so much you can control, but what you say and how you say it and how you look, you can control, meaning your dress. All right, I hope that helps. We don't usually get a lot of those. Hey, Caitlin, how you doing? Robert Griffin. Oh, that's Nancy? Is that Nancy, my boot camper? Happy hump day to you, too. All right. And Day. Hi, Andy, Kara, and Stacy, and everybody. Thanks for everything. You are welcome. Do you think someone with an employment gap can engage your 5-day challenge without a certification, as you suggested in handling it earlier? Yes, 100%. That's it. Final answer. Mom, how are you? I know I need to call you and text. I've been so busy trying to help everybody. Today, I'll call today for sure. All right, let me see. I'm not sure who that is, but AJ Ren 100, I'm interviewing, but already have a big vacation plan paid for. It's not until June, and it's for 6 weeks. Now what do I do? When do I share this information, and with who? Fantastic question. Can we give this person a course? I don't know who you are, But do me a favor and email us at support@milewalk.com. And you could have my resume writing masterclass, or you can have my interview intervention course. If you happen to have both of those, let us know, and we'll go from there. All right, I love this question. Let's take it in two pieces. Actually, let's take two scenarios. First scenario is, all y'all, plan the vacations, pay for them in advance, get the discounts, get the kids packed up, all that good stuff. Go on your safaris, go to Disneyland, go wherever you got to go, travel the world. When you're interviewing, you want to get into the process, wow them initially. As you start to earn some chits, meaning it's going really well, you're getting to an offer. You're getting to an offer. The verbals start going back and forth. Say, hey, I just want to share with you. Let's talk this through. I do have some calendar items I'd like to talk to you about. I have a vacation planned. Okay, now, if the vacation is a week or two, it's not going to be a big deal. Okay, it won't be. Everybody gets that. All right, I literally, as an executive recruiter, we've placed several hundred people at our client accounts, the hiring companies. And many of them had upcoming vacations. One guy went in for a day, then took a week off. Somebody else worked a week, took 2 weeks off. This stuff happens. Employers know it. Now, 6 weeks, that's different. If I'm you, now we're at the time of this, it's March, right? So we're kind of mid-March right now. Now, if you look at the window here, you've got what, maybe 8-10 weeks, something like that. Now you're going through your interviewing process. If you can't start till the middle of July and you find an employer who loves you, that's going to be a problem, right? That 6 weeks is going to be a problem. So my suggestion to you is you do a couple things. You can hold off your search. If you are employed, I would highly recommend that. If you are not employed and you need a job, I would go about it as if you didn't have the 6-week vacation planned. I would get in there and I would mention to the employer that you would not be available to start until after, mid-July, or that you could work up until the end of May before you're going to leave. I would get it out pretty immediately. Most of them are not going to want to proceed. I'm just letting you know that. That's the fact of the matter. It's just the way it is, because that's a big vacation. 6 weeks is not common. It might be common in places outside the U.S. I don't know where you live, but that's not common. I wouldn't hire somebody and then have them go for 6 weeks. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't. So you want to time this appropriately. So for those of you that have short vacations, I would not sweat them, but a month and a half is a long time. All right, I hope that helps and gave you some perspective. And I know it's a sticky situation, but I wish you a lot of luck with it. Evelyn O, how are you? Yes, you are my boot camper. Evelyn, I love this. Evelyn O asks, is it a negative thing when during an interview, the interviewers repeat the comment, you really did your homework and research? Now, I love that. I'm proud of you, my boot camper. Okay? The interviewer should think that you did your homework. Now, there's a difference between you did your homework and you're being a pain in the butt. Okay? You do your research. You can never, there is no such thing as being over-prepared. Okay? That's a dumb word. I wish I could erase it from the dictionary. You can never be over-prepared. Now, the way you share the information you have prepared can be a little over the top. I want you to be careful about that, right? Hey, I found out your mom's middle name and all that other, you want to be a little careful with that stuff. But the fact that you did your homework, you did your research, you gathered everything that was within their digital footprint, and maybe you did a little walking right? And talking yourself, right? You're meeting people and gathering insight and all that good stuff, reading the whole 10K or whatever. That's awesome. I would not be concerned about that as long as they said it with a smile and not a frown. But that statement in and of itself, I think, is awesome. Now, I know you have another one here coming. So also, when I had a chance to ask my questions to the interviewers, the comment made was, "Oh, you're interviewing us now. Your thoughts and thank you. You're welcome, and I'm proud of you." Again, that's right. You should be. Wouldn't you rather? Here's what I would say to them. Any of you where the interviewer explicitly makes that statement, here's my Andy opinion. It's a dumb remark on the interviewer's part. Of course you're interviewing them. And if any interviewer has a problem with that, I wouldn't want to work there. So what I would say in a polite way is every relationship is a two-way street. Wouldn't you rather have an employee or a job candidate who comes here as an employee, has a really good understanding of what to expect and is really excited and knows what she's going to get into? Or would you rather have somebody who didn't ask you those questions, came here and was surprised and then left after a week? Right? I would figure out a great way to ask that, maybe just use my words, but you know what I'm saying, right? You are interviewing them. Now, let's talk about this because there's a great point I want to make here about this in particular. And Evelyn, while you didn't ask this, I think this is great for the group. In the beginning and throughout the entire recruitment process, every interview you go through, your number one goal is to get them to love you. The best way for you to do that, for the most part early, is to be able to sell yourself, right? The great responses to their questions. Another great way is through the questions that you ask. We want you to ask smart questions. We want you to ask them effectively. And we want you to ask as many as is appropriate based on the time you have allocated at that stage in the interviewing process. In the upfront process, in the early stages, typically what happens is the employer is asking you more questions. Typically, not always. Now, if you get done with an interview, first, second, third, and you feel like I'm not getting my questions answered, to that I would say, don't worry. Don't worry at this point. Get all the way through. What we don't want is we don't want them ejecting you from the process early. I want you to get down to the end and then have an option to work there. If you get down to the end and you have the option to work there and you still have a bunch of questions for them, that's okay. You just say, hey, I've got more questions. Can we set up a little time to grab a phone call or a cup of coffee, or I'll come back for another visit? I've got a bunch of questions, just want to get them clarified. At this point, they should be falling all over themselves to answer your questions because they want to give you an offer because they want you to come and work there. So you just take a little extra time to do that. That's all. And that way, you are in the best position to ask your questions and ask as many as you'd like, because no employer should want you to accept that job offer without you being certain that that's going to be a great place for you to work. I would never want somebody to come and work with me if they were not, to the degree as much as they could be, certain that they were going to enjoy it and that they knew what they were getting themselves into. I would never hire somebody who I didn't feel had that knowledge and at least that understanding or their expectation of what was going to happen and what wasn't going to happen when they started working with me. And I think most employers are like that. I really do. I really do. I think some employers, not mean-spiritedly, they see somebody they like, they want to get you into the company, they want to get going. I don't have a problem with that. But you can always slow them down. You have control of that. So Evelyn, that was great for introducing that. I'm proud of you 2 times over, many times over, in fact, my boot camper. And lots of luck with that. But I hope you all can take that and go get them with those questions. But remember, ask more questions the later on down the road. And you can always prioritize your questions up front. All right, hope that helps. All right, couple of announcements. Emails. Every day this week, y'all are getting emails from me with a gift. Monday was my Out of Reach but Insight digital experience, so the ebook and the audiobook for my motivational book, my goal-setting book. On Tuesday, we did a resume submittal checklist. Today, I did my 65-point job interview preparation checklist. If you are not opening your emails, you ain't getting these. And if you are not on the email list, you ain't getting these. So if you are on the email list or you've gotten my emails in the past, but you are not getting these emails, check your junk filter or your junk folder or your spam folder. Make sure you're opening them. Even I sent myself an email, it went to junk today for my Gmail. So make sure if you have a Gmail account, you are watching your promotions tab, your marketing tab, whatever the heck they call that stuff, and move it over to the inbox and tag it appropriately. So we want you to have that stuff. So please make sure you keep an eye out for that. All right. Celia. Let's get this up here. Celia Wang. Hey, Andy. Love your attitude about work. Shouldn't we all have fun, really? What advice would you give to highly motivated, goal-oriented people to prevent burnout at a job? What key things we should keep in mind daily? So, you know what? Can we give her a course? I mean, like, Celia, that is so awesome. Celia, just email us at support@malwalk.com. I will give you my resume writing masterclass or my interview intervention course. You can take your pick. This question is fantastic. I struggle with it every day, right? And every day I reset myself. And I know a lot of people that enjoy what they're doing. I work 7 days a week. I do. I'm not wearing it like a badge of armor. I'm just telling you that if you want to be great at what you do and you want to be the best in the world, it's not going to happen between 9 and 5, Monday through Friday. Okay? It just isn't. And if you want to own your own business, same kind of thing. And if you want to serve people, same kind of thing. And really, really great stuff in this world takes time. No shortcut ever gave you what you deserved. Okay? So you are going to have to work a lot. You are going to have goals that keep pushing you. So to the question, when you are goal-oriented, the best way, the single greatest way, and you can break this up, but the single greatest way to avoid burnout is the way in which you process, actually no pun intended, your goals. So if I have a goal, for example, that says I'm going to run a promotion on my job search bootcamp, and I'm going to work really hard, and I'm going to do a lot of stuff, and on Friday at the end of the day when that promotion ends or whatever it is, I'm going to count up all the people, I'm going to look at all the dollars, and I set a goal for myself for the number of people and the amount of revenue and all that good stuff, and if I don't hit it, I'm going to be really upset, right? There are people that are out there that process the world that way, as opposed to the different goals. The goals that I focus on are not how much money am I going to make, how many people are going to enter into my community or my program or whatever. It's okay, today's Wednesday. Now, there's a balance to what I do on Wednesday. And I have to do certain things in the morning, I do certain things mid-morning, then I have a show with you, then there's certain things I'm going to do after, and certain things I'm going to do after, and so on. The week before, I look at the whole week. The day before, I look at the whole day. When I wake up in the morning, I look at that day and I focus on just doing the things that I effectively planned to do that are going to contribute to my ability to support that promotion. But along the way, it's my service to you. It's doing a good job helping you with your career during our live show. I'm only here with you right now. I'm completely focused on your question. I'm completely focused on giving you the best answer. That's all I can do. So when I look at my day, each day, weekends included, what does my day look like? I think about the whole day. I go through it in pieces in my head. I play it, right? Like what's going to happen? What could happen? How would I react? Then before I started each activity, I think about, okay, what do I want to happen in this hour, this half hour, this 15 minutes? What would be good about that? What could happen? All that good stuff. And I'm continually doing that. What happens is each day, it's like a refresh. Each hour, it's like a refresh. I pack up what I just did in the previous hour. I think about what this hour and a half with you guys is going to look like, what I'm hoping is going to happen, what could potentially happen, like the internet could go out or something like that. I don't pay any attention. I like that a bunch of you show up, but if one of you shows up or 300 of you show up, we're going to do the show the same way, kind of thing. And I'm going to give you my best. And then when that's done, I'm gonna go to lunch. And then when that's done, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna write some other stuff for you the rest of the week, and so on. And so each thing, there's a joy in the doing. It's not about the goal. I like people to have goals for sure, but if you become obsessed with the outcome goals, you're gonna be very stressed out, you're gonna be very burnt out, and you're gonna be unhappy most of the time because you will never be satisfied. But when I get done with this show, the joy I have knowing I gave you everything I had between 11 and say 12:30 makes me happy. And you know what? Some of you will jump in the programs and most of you will not. And I'm great with that because all I can control is the service I give you. So my focal point is not on the outcome, it's on my service to you. After this, it's going to be having a relaxing lunch. After that, it's going to be writing great messages or putting a show together or whatever it is. And so that's how I go through my day. Same thing on the weekends. I have things planned. The other thing that I do every morning, Celia, is at 4:30 I meditate for 30 minutes. Actually, I start about 4:35. I get up, and I get up. I don't do anything. I get up, take care of the dogs, and then right into the meditation. I'm not still sleeping. I'm awake, and it's quiet time, and it sets me for the day, and then I practice. So if you did 30 minutes of meditation in a day, that's great. But then if you go through the rest of the day all crazed and all stressed and running from thing to thing, that 30 minutes isn't going to do it. So I almost have a reset as I transition between all my activities. By the way, this is for those of you that are in my leadership program. I go into great lengths about this in the Career Accelerator program. There's a module in there about all of this, about how to handle the organization of your year, of your life, of your month, of your week, of your day, of your so on, and the transitions I go through and how I reset myself and then how I set my expectation for what's going to come. It's really amazing how alert and frosty I am at all. Sure, I'm human, but I do a lot of other things physically to combat that in the way that I eat, sleep, work out, and so on. So the job is a big part of my life, but I enjoy it because I focus on the enjoyment of every single thing that I need to do with it. So I hope that helps, and I hope you enjoy the course that you're going to grab from us. Thanks for the question. That's a fantastic one, Celia. Tanash, I think that's how you pronounce your name, and I take them right from here. Actually, let me see what. Giovanni, how you doing? Hey, Andy, you're awesome. Thank you for that. Taking a shot here coming from a community member. So since it's Community Appreciation Week, would you be willing to share the full list of job hunting email scripts? I will not. Let me say this. I can say this with a straight face because I think it's true. One of my goals, going back to Celia a few minutes ago, is to be the most generous trainer for you, the most present trainer for you, and all the stuff that goes along with that. I feel like I give a lot of stuff away, and I give a lot of my time away, and I don't take vacations on you guys, and I don't do anything. And even when I'm on vacations, I have meetups and those kind of things. But I have got to have some proprietary stuff that is given only to people who are financially investing in keeping themselves going and keeping me going. So those job hunting email scripts are absolute gold. Actually, they're worth the $500 of the boot camp alone. But I can't. I'd love to. I can't. I really can't. Well, I could. It's not something I'm willing to do. And I hope you understand. And I know you of all people do. But you can always ask. You can always ask. Adam Stark, how are ya? I think there was an email from you at our Sport Crew getting your course. John, Handsome John, that's your new nickname. Tony P. from Dunedin, great to see you. Patty Ann, how are you? From PA. Patty! Ding, 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 ding. That's Anaheim, Patty. Can we Patty, you might have emailed us already, and I told you if you changed your picture on YouTube and took away the LA Dodgers, of which you're not a fan, that you're an Angels fan, that I would give you a free course, and I'm a man of my word. So email us for a free resume writing masterclass or interview intervention course. And glad you figured it out. All right. How do you write a resume for a different industry? Healthcare versus clerical in other fields. Tried to change my profile pic. It didn't take. Sure it did. There it is right there. So I don't... So here, I'm going to point you to a couple of things. Maybe you should take that resume writing masterclass. I've got a lot of stuff in there that might help you. When you say healthcare to clerical, I don't know in healthcare what you were doing specifically. If it was something really healthcare related, like you're selling pharmaceutical drugs, or maybe you're in the not the provider space, but you're in the payer space and you're dealing with insurance, and now you want to move to clerical. I mean, if you're doing data admin for Blue Cross and Blue Shield versus doing a clerical job in other fields, it's not really much of a switch. So without knowing a little bit more, it's a little difficult to say, but I would point you to my Career Changer playlist, and I do talk about this kind of stuff there. So maybe you'll be able to pick that up, but enjoy the course. Thanks for the question. All right. Here we go. Aline, I think that's how you pronounce it. Graduated from college last month. Congratulations. Can we all give Aline a big congratulations? That is a big deal. It is a big deal. I saw your no opening 7-sentence cover letter video, and my question is, what is the most appropriate sentence to write if I only had 11 months internship experience? Well, number one, that's pretty awesome. If you are a recent college graduate, you've got you've got an internship of 11 months. That's pretty great. That's a full year of work experience. So if you are using the no job opening cover letter and you want to highlight the capabilities that you have gained through your schoolwork and through your internship that coincide with the types of skills that the organization needs, you can do that. Now, here's a little trick for you. And if you all don't know what she is referring to, I have a no job opening cover letter. I call it my AKA 7-sentence cover letter. I have a video out there on how to apply when there is no job opening. She's asking me what's the most appropriate sentence to write. What I would do is, without going into all the wording, because I know what you mean, there's a sentence in there that talks about your accomplishments or skills or something that aligns you to what that company needs. One of the easiest ways for you to figure out what skills they value is to look at the job descriptions or any job descriptions that they have on their site. And a lot of those, because you are a young professional, they are going to be looking for foundational traits about you. Are you organized? Are you a self-starter? Do you have good communications? Whatever those might be, those foundational abilities, I would highlight those as demonstrated by. And then the work experience that you've gathered from the internship, if you can connect any dots between what specifically you did in the internship and how that might align to what it is that they need, that's going to give you the power. And you know where that goes because it's laid out in the cover letter template. But that's a great question. But I would lean on those, and you can get the intel from the company website. Sometimes corporations have on there, traits we value, cultural characteristics we value, personality traits we value. Sometimes the job descriptions have them, right? They're duplicated, but I would go there. And knowing that you're a recent college graduate, they're going to lean heavily on that. And depending on what your degree is too. All right, that's a great question. Mayor, boot camper, let's see. What do we got here? Hang on, we got a multi-parter. All right, Mayor is a boot camper who we love from Chicago. I had a phone interview I took in the car the other day. Mayor, no. Interviewer had moved the time up last minute, then you're forgiven. And I was in my post-boot camp gym sitting behind the wheel. How am I going to make it through this? All right, hey, let's rewind this, okay? Let's reset. I'm going to start again. All right, Mary's got a question. Had a phone interview. She took it in the car because the interviewer moved the time up at the last minute. She was in her post-bootcamp gym gear, sitting behind the wheel on Bluetooth. Okay, now, she's asking, that's the setup. Can you speak to the importance of being dressed for the interview regardless of it being a phone interview? Let me see if you have a... Okay, so here's what I think about the phone interviews. So I don't mind if you were in your pajamas for phone interviews. It makes no difference to me. I am much more concentrated on your environment and if you are in the right mental frame of mind, energy, all that good stuff, because you have to remember, they can't see you, they can only hear you. So how do you sound on the phone? Are you articulate? Are you energetic? I think there's more of a physical nature to the phone interview. While they cannot see you, I can hear if you're smiling, kind of thing. I can hear if you've got energy. If you need to stand up, that's cool. I wouldn't be walking around the room a lot. I don't love that. If you have a mirror and you want to look into the mirror and make sure you're smiling, that's okay too. I'm much more focused on your energy and your environment. You're totally forgiven for taking this thing in the car, because if they move the time, you should immediately say, I'm in my car, I'm pulling over, I want you to know I'm in my car, and I would much rather be at my desk, but since you moved up the call, I wanted to accommodate. You should actually make that point, okay? Don't not make that point, because it's important. You altered our agreement. I'm telling you, I'm not in the most perfect environment for this. There could be noise, there could be horns, there could be, God only knows where you were, right? So keep that in mind. I would make a point in the phone interview to let them know that. All of you, if they stick to their planned time, do not take a phone call while you're driving. Do not take a phone call in the stairwell or the bathroom or the wherever. Okay, it's not cool. If you got to go out into the parking lot of your corporation because you're working and you got a 1 o'clock or lunchtime scheduled thing or whatever, that's fine. But I would also let them know I'm at work. I had to come out into my parking lot. I just want to let you know where I am. That's important. It's okay to do that. But I don't about the dress. Some people say, well, they like to dress the part. It makes them feel better. I don't need that. I really don't. I could do live office hours all day long in my pajamas, never get tired, and I feel just great, right? That's just me. But some people, they want to put the suit and tie on. What you didn't ask me was about a video conference. In a video conference, I would dress like I was in an interview. I really would. I might go full tie and everything. So I don't have a problem with doing that. If you know for a fact that it's a very casual environment, and you want to dress business casual, button down or sport coat or whatever if you're a guy, or suit outfit if you're a girl, or pantsuit or whatever, or an appropriate dress, high neckline, that kind of stuff. That's cool too. So I hope that covered a bunch of stuff there, Mayor. Thanks for that one. Oop. See, get that out. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Trying to get rid of that. There we go. All right. Hey, all right. 11:43. If you are loving this, hit the thumbs up button, people. Let YouTube know and share it. Please share. I love the shares. I'm going to give you a minute to hit the thumbs up and share while I take a sip. All right. Let's see. Maria? All right, trying to find a remote job. I've been a stay-at-home homeschooling mom for 15 years. Awesome. Do you have any tips to secure a remote job as soon as possible? My husband just lost his job of 15 years. So first thing is, I'm sorry about your husband losing his job. That stinks. Now, stay-at-home parent, mom, dad, whatever the case may be, I have a couple of different resources you can use. Number one, you can go to my YouTube channel, and there is a video on how to handle an employment gap. That's something you're going to need to know because it pertains to the resume. It pertains to how you articulate the fact that you were homeschooling. That's a very simple explanation, how to cover it in the cover letters and in an interview and all that good stuff. So all of that is perfectly understandable. Now, there are websites out there that do advertise remote positions or stay-at-home positions or whatever they might be. I don't know what they are off the top of my head, but if you Google them, I know a number of people have actually. If anybody can in the chat can share with Maria what those sites might be, please do. I know they exist. People have mentioned them before and said that they've been having good luck with them. The other thing that you can do is you can look for temporary roles. If the goal is we need cash in order to put food on the table, right? I get that. You probably can get with some temp agencies and things of that, organizations of that nature that would help you and get you out right away on a contracting position or something of that nature, because that would be much easier. You can highlight some of the skills that you have. I don't know if you have work experience before the 15 years. So you said that you've been homeschooling for 15 years. I don't know if that's what you've been doing your entire life and this would be your first job, or if you had some experience before that you can lean on. You can also look at that. But that's what I would do. We also, and I don't know if we still have it on the website, but I wrote a booklet a while back about how to go from a stay-at-home parent to working professional. It's a free ebook. Maybe if Kara, if we still have that up, if we do, can we drop the page in the chat and Maria can grab that. But I hope that helps Maria. And I would use multiple routes. And there's nothing wrong with doing my job search challenge as well. And you can grab that off the front page of the Mile Walk Academy. So hope that helps. All right, one other quick announcement. We have, as well as part of this whole little extravaganza, on Friday, I have a special private group coaching session with my Job Search Bootcamp members. And throughout, the Bootcamp program itself is my signature job searching program. It has 5 main modules where I take you through a bunch of self-awareness exercises, kind of the blueprinting of your search. Then there's marketing components like your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your cover letters. Then we take you through the whole job search itself, how to bring yourself to market. We talk to you about interviewing and about negotiating and positioning yourself throughout the entire process to get paid what you deserve. That's 5 main modules, and there are sub-sessions within those modules that facilitate all of that. It's a complete end-to-end program. It's self-paced, but the important thing about it is throughout the year, I have more than 20. Last year was like 36 private group coaching sessions for my boot campers. It's quite a lot of live support where we have these live coaching sessions throughout the year. Sometimes we do 1 or 2 a month, and then we have months where we do them every week. So, but we do have a special on Friday, and normally with these private group coaching sessions, I teach a bit, and then we have a lengthy Q&A. This one on Friday, I'm going to be giving you the formula for how to create options when you're feeling stuck. Like what literally is the process that you need to go through to surface more opportunities for yourself. It's probably not what you think, but I'm going to take you through the formula of how to become creative and how to surface more opportunities. But and that will all be recorded. So if you can't attend live, that's okay. But the boot camp is on special this week for $100 off. You can check it out. Maybe Kara can drop that in the chat, but you can check out the page. There's loads of goodies. There's tons of testimonials. It's really a great program. thousands and thousands of people, over 5,000 people have been through the program. It's really, really effective. So check that out if you're interested in joining us on Friday. And regardless, even if you can't make it on Friday, the other thing is if you have any questions, just email us at support@milewalk.com and we'll be happy to help you if you got any questions. I do give a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you are a little bit squeamish about jumping into an online coaching program, you can get in and check it out. Really, we have probably one of the lowest return rates ever on the thing. It's really, really valuable. So I think you'll enjoy it. All right. Speaking of boot camp, Han Yin is a boot camper and a leader. That's right. He's in my leadership program as well. That handsome guy right there. When telling a story, how tight do we need to keep that? Is there a time limit rule we should constrain and conform to? Han Yin, the simple answer is no, there's not necessarily a time limit. What I would say is more important is what is it that you need to share? What is it that they asked you? And is it the kind of thing that's going to be a lengthy story? So if they say, tell me about yourself, you don't know how long that's going to take. You really don't, because you're going to highlight certain things about yourself in relation to the job description. The job description length may vary. What it is you need to share about how you align to that job description may vary. It may be open-ended and there may be a back and forth as if you are interviewing with somebody and there isn't a job description, but maybe you're networking with the CEO of a company and he wants you to talk about you, your background, and all that good stuff. There's going to be varying lengths of that. There are certain questions that are simple for you, yes or no, or yes, that's what that was. There's a clarification. There are other questions about how exactly did you do that? Take me through that entire project. That's going to be a little longer. So I would focus on the information you're sharing. Are you saying too much? Are you saying too little? That's going to impact the time frame. So the simple answer to your question is there's no time limit rule. Anybody who tells you that a good rule of thumb is, that's garbage insight, because I could spend 30 seconds talking about something, I could spend 3 minutes talking about something, and I might need to take 15 minutes to tell you something. So you just never know what that's going to be until you get the question. Hope that helps. All right. All right, Nisha. Moved from Malaysia to the States. Looking for career change from teaching to curriculum development role in tech company. How do I write an amazing resume that will get me to interviews? This is awesome. You want to laugh? Not laugh, but just like talk about on the nose. I just got done mentioning the Job Search Bootcamp session that I'm going to be doing on Friday. And do you know what inspired that? Is we had somebody who's in the boot camp. I don't know if she's here right now. And when you join the boot camp, I send you a welcome packet, and then a couple days later, I send you an email and I say, share your story with me. She shared her story with me. She was running a Montessori school, pre-care style, and she'd been running the business and teaching for a number of years. And she was feeling stuck in her location based on her education credentials or lack thereof. And I was reading her story, and it inspired me to come up with the formula I want to package and give you to do exactly what you asked here. And literally, one of the items as I was brainstorming her potential possibilities was curriculum development, right? You like tutors, you could do curriculum development, train the teachers, train the trainers, so to speak. You can go inside organizations, train the adults, and so on. There was, 8 or 10 things that I had come up with that pathwise that she could do. It's exactly this question. And when I look at taking what it is that you've done, which is teaching, that is the foundational skill that's required to develop curriculums and those kinds of things. And then if you want to do that for a tech company and become a trainer in the tech company or design the training material, or all that good stuff, you're going to talk about the facilitation skills, some of these other things that you're going to do. And I've addressed all of this in my Career Changer playlist, where I talk about how you map the skills that you gained as a teacher and how you translate them to your forward-looking curriculum or curriculum development role inside organizations. You are going to have to lay your resume out to connect the dots between the capabilities and the skills that you've gained as a teacher. But the other thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to lean heavily on your network. So I would not be sticking my resume in the applicant tracking system and trying to get a role in a tech company as a curriculum development specialist from a teaching role. It ain't going to happen. You're going to have to, somebody is going to have to walk you into that process. So number one, check out the Career Changer playlist. Take a look at how I help you map that stuff in the resume. And I would also take a look at, pay particular attention to the video about how career changers can brand themselves. Okay, so it's about the rebranding process. It might even be titled How Career Changers Can Rebrand Themselves or something like that. That's one of the videos in the playlist, and you should start doing that immediately, so that when somebody is looking at your LinkedIn profile and other places, they see you as a curriculum developer. So it's a great question, and that is a lengthy process and something that I do help people with, but would be impossible to package that up in 3 minutes and give you all that. But that's a great question. I really would check that stuff out. Hope that helps. Dana, you're welcome. Joshua Kirby. Okay. So Joshua's asking, how do you feel about networking at job fairs? Does this type of setting remove leverage of the one-on-one focus? So for job fairs, I love the networking part. I really do. I would go and check out my video on how to use your 5 minutes at a job fair to get an interview. Okay, that literally, there's a video out there on my YouTube channel titled exactly that. That will cover what to say when you get into the booth and you're talking to the company. Okay, so I'm not going to go into any of that. You can watch the 5-minute video about what to do with the 5 minutes. However, one thing I do think is awesome about job fairs is gathering intel on companies. And then what I would do is I would try to meet the people, talk a little bit about, get some intel about what it is that they need. Okay, there's nothing wrong with giving them your resume. But then what I would do is I would go back home. I would take all the insight that I got. I would channel that into a cover letter and send the resume into, I would target a boss, I would target the recruiters or HR people, and I would say, I would make the connection. I was just at this job fair. I talked to so-and-so in your booth. I was completely jazzed, package flower that up any way you want about this opportunity. I feel I'm a great match for the company based on and then you connect all the dots with the detailed information that you gathered from them, the website, whatever collateral you took, and you make a cover and you send it. You can send that to the boss. You can alter the boss hunting covers to do that. You can send it directly to the recruiter, all that good stuff. I would not go into the applicant tracking system. I would try the other routes first. But that's how I would use the job fair, along with what I mentioned in the video about how to use your 5 minutes to get the job interview. That's a great question, Joshua Kirby. Wonderful. Thank you for that one. Handsome John, you're welcome. And yes, washing your hands and avoid touching your face. So that was from the COVID-19 video that, we talked about it on Monday. Jay, I don't know if Jay's here with us today, asked the question. I've been getting so many questions. I hadn't answered any of my questions related to that question on my YouTube channel. So we clipped the video and I sent it out in the Tuesday package. So yes, wash your hands. Let's see, what do we got here? Patricia, good morning to you too. How do I find a job exactly or very similar to my most recent job, which I loved and adored? Per management, I was terminated 12/31/2019 due to lack of work. So, Patricia, my suggestion, I'll make this short and sweet. My suggestion, if you are not already in it, is to get in my job search challenge. For those of you who are not in the job search challenge who are job searching. It is the sweetest, most effective, most awesome free gift you will ever get related to job searching. I promise you that. I promise you that. Get it. It's a 5-part video series. The first 4 are about 30 minutes. The last one's about 50 minutes. I take you through what the challenge is, and then I take you through the 3 major job searching activities related to the challenge, which is identifying your target company list, identifying people within the organization, and then what to send them and how to message them directly and what components need to be included in your networking messages. And then in the 5th video, I talk about all the problems you're going to encounter and how to overcome them. That's job searching. This is the toughest obstacle for a lot of you. You can write a resume, you can interview because you know your jobs, right? But it's bringing yourself to market. So for you, Patricia, that is going to be the most effective way. And you're going to have to do some research to figure out which organizations have the types of roles that you absolutely love and adored. And I would start there, but I would go through the job search challenge. I even facilitate it with you. I give you an email each day for 5 days in a row about how to go through this. And then we release a video 1 a day for you so we can kind of pace you. And I give you a little lesson email and all that good stuff. There's a workbook to follow along with it. It's really, really good. And the wonderful thing, well, obviously it's not wonderful that your company ran out of work, but the nice thing about the fact that even though you are unemployed, the explanation of why you are unemployed is going to be a lot easier because you were let go due to lack of work. And they'll verify that if somebody actually wanted to do that. So I hope that helps. Great question. Davita, how are you from Houston? My boot camper. Gio, having trouble hearing back from references 2 of 3 about my job search after a caretaker hiatus, no response to calls, emails. I don't want to list them to have HR say they didn't respond. What would I do? So this is an interesting one. I would make sure, Gio, honestly, that I had references that were alerted and responsive. Please, people, you can control the names that you give the employers. So, Gio, I'm bummed that they're not getting back. I would make sure that they are available and open. And I would make sure I would never put references down that I had not recently spoken with. And if somebody says, hey, anytime you need a reference, use me, right? I'm happy to do it for you. And you haven't talked to that person in a year, do not use their name unless you call them and say, okay, I'm on the prowl. I need you to know. You cool with that? Yes, I'm cool with that. Awesome. Great. Just make sure. I really would. Honestly. Hope that helps. All right, let's see. Where are we? 12:02. All right, so Kara, do me a favor, Slack me. Okay, so we got the job search challenge in there. We got the job search bootcamp in there. Those are really the 2 announcements that I want to make. And the emails. Make sure you're keeping us on your safe list. We got 2 systems that you could potentially get an email from. If you unsubscribe, then, well, you shouldn't be getting emails. But hopefully you don't. It always hurts my feelings when people unsubscribe. All right, Eugenie? Okay, Eugenie. Hey, Andy, thank you for all you do. You're welcome. You're welcome. Question is, what success do you see delivering for our company in the first 6 months after joining? I'm wondering if you're asking me how I would respond to a question about what success do you see delivering for our company. I'm going to direct you to the interview intervention book. If you do not have the interview intervention book, I give it away for free. Inside the interview intervention book, I have the answer to this question. It's in the chapter titled My Silver Bullet Interview Chapter. Grab it and go. All right. Maria, if I received a stipend for work, should I put it as work experience or volunteer experience? Should I put volunteer experience as work experience and specify that I was a volunteer? How do I decide? So there's a couple of things. Because this happens, right? If you, so there's a couple different scenarios. If you were working full-time and you had volunteering work that was unrelated to your work, I would probably drop it into the bottom in the volunteer area or extracurriculars or whatever. Now, I know from your previous question that you've been a stay-at-home mom for 15 years. So if somewhere along the way you received a stipend for work and you were volunteering, but it was robust. So there could be, I volunteered for the PTA or PTO or whatever we're calling it these days, and it was a quasi, right, few hours a week and that kind of stuff, and they gave you a stipend. Maybe you were one of the ones that were helping the organization that they gave a stipend to. If it's really intermittent, like it's not a ton of hours, it's really, really tiny, and you did it for a short period of time during the 15 years, I would probably move it to just keep it in the volunteer section. If it's something where you were working 20 hours a week or 15 hours a week or whatever, you could say, in the professional experience, the fact that you were not getting paid a lot or you just got a stipend is irrelevant if it was something meaty. So when you're asking, how do I choose? How do you decide? If it was fairly robust, I would probably put it up top. If it's minimal time effort or minimum time invested or whatever it is, or short duration, I would keep it at the bottom of the resume. Now, the other thing is you have to be mindful of how it will look on your resume. So if you've been homeschooling your kids for 15 years, I would probably leave my most recent professional experience, if I had some, up at the very top of the work experience section or the professional experience section, and I would have anything else that I was doing volunteer-wise in the volunteer section unless it was completely robust. Okay, because it looks a little odd if you've got a 15-year gap in between, say, 2005 and 2020, you've been homeschooling, and then between 2007 and 2008, you had this volunteer period. I would probably just keep it clean. So there's a number of different factors. There really is. But that's how I would go about that, Marie. I hope that helps. Nandini, how you doing? Great to see you, my boot camper. All right, what do we got here, Jamal? Advice for someone who is newly unemployed. 13 years of tech support experience. Last 9 months in retail environment and would like to move back into small, mid-sized corporate firms in New York. Jamal, you got experience, 13 years of tech support. All right, so even if, let's just call it your last year, you did retail. Actually, I'm assuming you mean you sold retail. Job search challenge, get back to it. A year is like a blink of an eye. I know a year or 6 months unemployed or in a different role may seem painful, but let's just say you're going to live to be 80 or 90 or whatever. Is it really that big a deal? You don't lose 13 years of tech support experience just because you spent 9 months in retail, right? So jump back. I would almost jump back in just like it was nobody's business, right? Like nothing happened. And the fact that, you've been doing something else, if they say, well, what have you been doing? And you can put, the retail thing on there, or you can say returning to the workforce after 9 months something of doing something else or whatever. I would not worry. I would go to the job search challenge. I would network my way back in. I would be calling everybody I worked with during those 13 years and doing all the other things that I advise. I really would. You can zip right back in. You can, I promise you. What do we got here, Andre? What potential employer can learn about you from the background employment check aside from criminal history? All past employers, if I want to omit some, positions, salaries, performance. Okay. So I'm assuming that you are in the United States. And I I don't know what the kind of checks are in other countries or whatever, but in the US, generally speaking, there are different kind of background checks that you can do. You can actually do a criminal check, you can do a financial check, you can do a general background check. Some are done automated using services, some are done automated using the internet. Some have their employees, so I'm an employer, I have an employee literally call all your other employers and say, did Andre work there? What was the years? Hang on, he's got on his resume, he's got whatever. So it's a combination of all this stuff. It depends how diligent the company is, depends how much they care about it, it depends what the size is, it depends if they have a department for that. So generally, though, here's my words of advice for anybody who has a concern about their background check. Number one, if you've given your social security number to an employer, that will show up, okay, if you've been paid. So if you had a year-long stint that you omitted from your resume, you better put it on your application. So you better show them that you worked there, because they're going to pull it up and they're say, Andre, well, between 2010 and 2011, looks like you were at this company, but I don't see it here anywhere on your resume. That's going to raise a red flag. That's probably going to hurt you more than if you'd have just had it on your resume. So I wouldn't, now, if you want to omit them and you're talking about, well, Andy, I just want to put, 15 years and then I want to drop the rest, I'm cool with that. Okay. I'm talking about, don't be selective. If you're going to give them a run chronologically, give them a run, give them the honest shake. Normally it will just show the dates of employment. It will not show your salaries. I believe that's the case. It will not show that. If they do a call, if they actually call somebody at the company, that company, theoretically, should only verify that you worked there. Yes, Andre was a whatever from 2009 to 2016. Name, rank, and serial number kind of thing. And if they start going off into other things, then they could be liable. You could actually sue them for that. So that's how I look at that. As long as you keep your resume honest and you show them, it's okay to drop. It's okay to drop some employers. I would not be fishing around with plucking certain things here and there. If you're showing them the last 15 years and you're trying to peel out some of these things, it's really not cool. That's going to harm you more if that surfaces. So keep that in mind. Hope it helps. All right, how we doing here? Just checking. Okay, Kara is asking me to clarify. This is always smart of her to do this, because I forget this. So I mentioned to you guys, I talk about my job search challenge, and I talk about my job search bootcamp. Those are two different things. One is a free 5-day challenge, 5-day video series program that I give you. It's a gift. And it's called my job search challenge. That's when I was telling you about, I give you the blueprint, I give you the 3 mini modules, and then I give you the kind of catch-all module if you run into problems. That's free. My job search bootcamp is 5 modules, much deeper instruction, much lengthier, many assets, the entire structure from the beginning of thinking about yourself all the way to getting paid what you're worth and then some. That is a paid program. Normally that program is $597, and then there are different services that you can get on top of that if you so choose. But this week it's $497, and we happen to have a private live group coaching session on Friday. And Kara is letting me know that it was actually Stacy's idea to tell you this. So let's give Stacy a little pat on the back for keeping me honest. Don't you love it? It's like I got like 10 moms. It really does. I got, yeah, it's just great. They're always looking out for me. You got to have people like that in your life. All right. Chinmin, hey, and Catherine, how are you, my boot campers, both of you? All right, I'm zipping on down. I'm trying to get to some new people. Hey, MY3, how are you? Another boot camper. She meets City. Okay, wait, I want to pop this up. Thank you for this. Hi, Andrew. No question here. Just wanted to say your follow-up email video is truly helping me in this moment as I was just rejected for a position. You are welcome. And if you do not know what she is referring to, I have a video out there on how to get the job after being rejected. I would highly recommend you all have that at your disposal. I don't wish that anybody gets rejected. Watch the video now, right this minute, and make sure you know what you're going to do if you get rejected. It is really, really effective, and I get emails every single day from people who've watched that, who have done that, and then gotten a job. Either the one that they interviewed for where they were rejected, or one that was at a different opportunity at a company where they got rejected. So keep that in mind. I would definitely check it out. Cynthia Lou, how are you? Susan Kelly, you getting into boot camp or not? Modest Virgo, how are you? Dean A, yes, Dean is all in. Anessa from Florida, how are you doing? Who's that? Oh, Millerod, hi, Miami boot camper. Hey, I'm not sure who that handle is. Hey, Melissa Olson, Heidi Morgan. Michael Kim, how are you doing, my boot camper? Thank you for all the love and support on LinkedIn from you too. Larry Cohn, how do you keep track of all activities and follow-ups? I was running my job search. I'd use a spreadsheet. It would be sorted. I'm going to give you two things here. Great question. I would sort companies down the left column, and everything that I do would be driven by company. That would be my target company list. Next column over, I would have people, roles. You can sequence it how you want. You can, first or second, doesn't matter. Roles that you're targeting, or if there's no role, that's okay. But it would be people I'm targeting. What I sent them, when I sent it, maybe even the copy I sent them, when the date was. I would put a tickler in there that says follow up on this date. I would have a date that says, bang, I emailed Andy on Wednesday, March, whatever this is, 11th. Okay, boom. And then I would immediately put a tickler in on March 18th that says, if Andy doesn't get back to me, I'm emailing him again. And every single day, I would sort that sheet and see what are my follow-ups for today. And then off it goes. And I would do it that way. Now, there are people who love, and people even in the Mile Walk Academy programs, that like a site called hunter.co. HUNTR, 5 letters, .co. I believe it is, or .com, but I believe it's .co. That is a job application tracker, and you could do some slick things with that too. That's another thing you could do. Hope that helps. Okay, I love this one. Brian McNeil, I'm giving you a course for this one, my friend. All right, Brian McNeil is asking, how do I control the interview when the interviewers talk the whole time? Had experience when I know they didn't really interview me. Okay, so first thing is, take your pick between my resume writing masterclass and my interview intervention course. I love this one. You know why I love this one? Because I get this question a lot, and it's interesting because people don't recognize whoever talks more thinks the interview went better. Okay, so if you got an interviewer who's yapping, okay, there's a couple of ways you can interrupt politely without breaking their chain. One of the things that you can do is you let them talk, you take it in. Maybe they're just trying to sell you. You got to read the tea leaves. If you feel like you're getting close to the end of the discussion and you're feeling like, geez, they haven't even really gotten anything from me, you just open up with, hey, thank you for sharing all that information. I really appreciate you spending so much time explaining all that to me. I want to make sure you're getting enough insight on me to help you make a good decision. Is there anything in particular about my background you'd like me to discuss, or any specific questions that you want to cover? That's it. That's how you get control. and it's a way of saying thank you. I want to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, are you sure you're getting what you need? In rare occasion, will the interviewer talk the whole time and you not get another interview? It just doesn't happen. It really doesn't. Now, I don't want you guys to all freak out, because here's what's going to happen. On the comment section, in the recording, somebody's going to be watching this later tonight, and they're going to go into the thing, and they're going to say, Andy, oh my God, I was in an interview, and I was talking the whole time. That means I think it went better, and they're not going to like me. No. If they're asking you questions, and you're answering the question, and they're asking you the questions, and you're answering, that's okay. 1 minute for them, 5 minutes for you, 1 minute for them, 5 minutes. That's okay. But if you got an interviewer who's really yapping, I think they're probably in sell mode. They really are. That's my experience. That is tens of thousands of interviews talking. Okay, meaning my observation of job candidates that I've put into interviews who've interviewed with my client companies, and when they come out and we talk about, hey, I couldn't get a word in edgewise, I was like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm sure you're going on to the next level, next interview. Trust me on this one. That's experience talking. All right, Brian, get your course. Thanks. All right, what do we got here? Let me see. More to Living. How you doing? What is that there? Camera? Looks like it. Shooting some pictures. Hey, Andy, could you please provide some guidance on what to say and what not to say during an exit interview with the current employer? This is a fantastic question. So my view on this is the less you say, the better. It's true. So I don't want to venture into any area that can be held against me at any moment in my life. We call that leaving breadcrumbs. I think I used that expression yesterday. The last thing we want to do, people, is take on anything in our life where we have to keep looking over our shoulder. It makes no difference. And I don't know if it was Patty or somebody who asked me, I don't know, it was yesterday or the day before, about, hey, I want to, if I just want to leave my company and I don't want to give the 2 weeks notice, because I hate my boss and all that good stuff. I wouldn't do it. I really wouldn't do it. If I was in an exit interview, this is what they would get from me. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I've really enjoyed working here. I love the people. I've really enjoyed my time. I want to thank you for that. Have a nice life. That's my exit interview. That's what they're getting out of me. It's not, well, so-and-so was mean to me, and, there was bias in this and that, and preferential treatment, this and that. You're gone. You're out anyway. Go. Live your life. Focus on your future. You do that, you're expelling negative energy. What for? What for? It does no good. None. Now, you could be saying, well, Andy, you're robbing the employer of the feedback. Guess what? If you did it the right way and you shared with your employer along the way that I would really like more opportunity for this, I would really like to do that, I would really try to learn that new technology, and you're not giving me the opportunity. They already got the feedback. Okay, they already have it. So there's no reason for you to spend a lot of time going to negative town on the exit interview. That's what I would do. You don't owe it to them to give them a whole lot of negative stuff. If they start asking you questions about, well, what could we have done to keep you here and this and that? No, it's about my future. It's about this new opportunity I have. Now, if there's an exit interview and you were let go, okay, so I'm leaving of my own choice, or they're kicking me out and I want to have an exit interview. Those are a little different, but I'm going to give you the same advice. They kicked your butt out. Thanks for the opportunity to work here. I really enjoyed it. Sorry it didn't work out. See you. Have a nice life. That's it. That's all they get. That's all they get. There's no reason for you to make waves. Why? Why is this important? We live in a small world. We really do. I know it's big and there's a lot of opportunities. So on the one hand, I say go, there's lots of opportunities out there. But on the other hand, there's no reason for you to leave a trail of people that you worked with where you walk out sour grapes, or you do something with bad form, or you say some things you can't take back because you're miffed. those people are going to go to other companies, and you might be interviewing at those other companies in the future, and they're going to say, hey, Mortal Living, he or she or whatever, it made, on the exit interview, she badmouthed everybody in her team, and it's just not really a great playmate. You just don't need that. So I hope that helps. It's a great question. They would not get anything from me. That's just me. All right, how are we doing? 156 people still, 1224. Okay, folks, Job Search Challenge, 5-day video series, free. It's in your emails. It's in the section about cool freemiums. Check that out. We've got some specials, really reduced specials on the resume writing masterclass and the interview intervention course. These things have been given away, but they actually do cost for most people. And the Job Search Bootcamp, that is my signature complete job searching program. I'll actually probably take you through that tomorrow at some point for a few minutes just to show you what it looks like, because we got this great session on Friday. That's a paid session, but check it out. It's also in the emails we've been sending each day. And if you're not getting them, check your junk, check your spam folders, check your promotions tabs, and if they are not there, email us at support@malwalk.com and we will make sure that you get them. All right, folks, I gotta go. I'll see you tomorrow. I feel like I could totally do this daily talk show thing. I really could. Hit the like button if you love this. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're not. New videos every Tuesday. Live office hours on Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.